Hello everyone. Yeah, had some issues, but everything's okay now. So before I get started, something I want to point out to you guys. One is, of course, join the group for the class, but that wasn't what I was going to say. The other thing is, let's see, let's find it. All right. So, where is it? Get that full screen down. Okay. For the lectures for the class, I plan on posting it links in Blackboard, but also on the YouTube page, channel, whatever you want to call it, for the R. Trammell channel. If you go to playlists, and I'll make sure you can see what I'm doing. If you go to playlists, you'll see, I have a playlist for my classes, and you can just click on View Full Playlist, and all the videos for the class will be here. So even if you're not checking Blackboard, which you should, you can still go to the channel and just check the playlist for your class, and you'll be able to see what you need to see. So I just wanted to make sure that you know that. Let's see, let's get to the lecture. Okay, so picking back up from where we left off, we were around the ENG and EFP differences, and some of the what is it? Talking about like the what they emphasize, like news, basically an image is better than nothing at all. EFP is more planned out. Yeah, a lot of the things, and I don't think I talked much about pre-production, production, and post-production differences. So with pre-production, there's, how can I put it? It's more planned out in EFP, because you know when something's going to happen, where it's going to happen. You can plan better for whatever conditions you'll be dealing with, and since you know about it in advance, you'll be able to just figure your way out around whatever potential problems a whole lot easier. Also, just being able to choose, having some kind of say where something happens can be of a great value to your production. So you don't have to just take what you can get and shoot wherever you have to shoot during the production. So there are some things that can be similar, because you can have a multi-camera shoot that's in field production, and it can be tied into a switcher, and of course you got your audio concerns and all that. So ENG and EFP can have that. But like, say you wouldn't do a newscast and have it, in most cases you wouldn't have it, say, just all three cameras recording to each other, because studio cameras you can't record internally, and editing it in post-production, no. During a news production, it's live. It's either going to be live to tape, or it's just going to be live, which means basically it's recorded and then it's played later, but you only go through it one time, and then you play it. So an instance like that, when I was working in news, let's say there was a presidential address or a baseball game, and I'm working the 9 o'clock or the 10 o'clock newscast, and there's also, well, say I'm working at 9 o'clock and you don't want to run into the 10 o'clock and push that one back, so maybe we'd record it, and then after the game, we wouldn't have to stay at the station and wait to do it live. We'd already have the program pre-recorded. Yeah, I think especially for baseball, we'd have the newscast pre-recorded, and then just whenever the game ends, that's when they would play the newscast. So yeah, that's more live to tape. But in EFP, you may record something, let's just say a wedding. You have a lot of cameras. You don't have to have a switcher, say if you're doing a wedding and having multiple cameras, but with those multiple cameras and it's not tied to a switcher, you'd have to record. And when you record, for each camera, you got to edit that. So you'll have to edit each angle, and that doesn't happen in news. So post-production in news, there's basically almost like no post-production. So basically when the show is over, turn off the lights, turn off the cameras, and yeah, I'm trying to think, there's very little. Maybe make sure that the copy of the show got recorded for whatever purposes. But yeah, once the show is over, it's over, and you're worried about the next thing, and that's like almost immediately, In EFP, when you're doing a commercial, say for example a commercial, yeah, you may have spent an afternoon recording something, but you're going to spend, I don't know, maybe the next week or at least the next couple of days still editing it. So the post-production for EFP is a lot more intensive, okay? A lot more drawn out, it can be a lot more of a hassle. Let me make sure, I think I adjust my audio. I think I don't have it set to mono. Nope, okay. You guys should be able to hear me a little bit better now. So, with some concerns. So, with the ENG, you have to worry about everything is planned around your deadline for that day. So, if you don't have enough time to, yeah, I wonder if I'm not sure if I went over this now. If you don't have enough time to shoot a story and come back and edit it, then it may get moved to the next newscast. If you're out somewhere interviewing people, you may not, you may get like the two most important people, but that third person, depending on your time crunch, you may not be able to get that person. Excuse me. How you send the footage. So if your station can afford a microwave truck or a satellite truck, you may beam it. So basically it means that you don't have to drive it back to the studio. So if it's a microwave truck, you raise the mast, point it at a relay station, you shoot it there, and it somehow gets to the station. Anyway, also with control, you don't have control over where something's going to happen. So a story may happen in the middle of, I don't know, a muddy swamp. Well, guess what? Mr. Reporter, Miss Reporter, and your expensive slacks and whatever shoes, if you aren't prepared, then you're going out into that, muddy swamp type area to cover that story. So, yeah, you don't have a choice as to where something happens, the time of day. It may be dark. Well, guess what? You better bring some lights. Also, if something happened and you missed it, then you can't, you missed that opportunity. So they are, very concerned with getting on the scene quickly, so that way they can get whatever shot that they need, because once something's over, you don't get another shot at it. There's no take two. With the preparation for, just want to check. Since we are live, since I am live, I like to check the comment section just to make sure that, just to make sure that if you have something to say, that I can respond to it. And Lauren, I'm glad you can hear me. Yeah, I'm glad about that. Those of you who do watch this, make sure to tell your classmates, join the Remind group. Anyway, where was I? So, for the preparation, so like I said, with that whole swamp thing, yeah, if you're not wearing the right clothing, you're just gonna get your stuff messed up. So, usually when people go out, reporters and photogs, sorry, yeah, reporters and photogs. Reporters usually come to work with a change of clothes, so they're not always just, you know, all super dressed up, and they may have something that they're going to put on when they're going to go out, or you know, or have at least an extra pair of jeans in the car or something, you know, because you don't know what's gonna, you know, some things are big events that you know is going to happen, like if there's a I keep using the state fair or some annual event in a particular area. Yeah, you can dress and be ready for that. But if something else happens, where, I don't know, maybe you need to go to a courtroom, well then you may, you know, dress a little bit more formal for a courtroom, if you're going to sit in the courtroom and, you know, take notes or maybe get some information. Yeah, lighting. Cameras have. A lot of cameras have like a light that you can mount on top of that, so you know that's a piece of equipment that a lot of photogs have in their gear bag. Of course, having enough tape, because you may be out for one, you know, particular event and something else happens, and you don't have time to go back to the station to get a SD card, a P2 card, a whatever, DVC Pro tape or whatever. So you got to make sure that you have, you know, some extra on you. Let's see, moving on. Okay, so with your storyline, okay, now I'm certain I haven't gone over this before. So with ENG, if you're going out and shooting, you got to know the story. So what that means is a photog, when they go out and shoot, they can't just blindly shoot stuff. Your photogs have, you know, photogs are intelligent people, so they have to understand, okay, what is this story about? What relates to this story? So let's just say there's a, I don't know, some type of accident, and maybe there's somebody ran a stop sign, okay? Well, maybe part of the story, you know, that might end up being part of the story is that there's some overgrown shrubbery that some, you know, city building didn't take care of, and it kind of covers the stop sign or the yield sign or the whatever sign. So, you know, what were the factors contributing to this particular accident? So it might be the overgrown shrubbery. It might be, I don't know, a lack of, I don't know, traffic signs or red lights in a particular area. Maybe it's I don't know what, but, so knowing the story helps you understand what shots to get. If it's, I don't know, maybe I was just thinking about the story for the barber's licensing or something. Oh, you may want to get, you know, maybe if there's a sign that says barbershop established since whatever year, a picture of, you know, a license on the wall. Just cutaway shots that have to do with whatever the story may be. So, also, you know, if it's a photog working the story without a reporter, then you're considered, a multimedia journalist. So, you being this multimedia journalist, not working with a reporter, got to know what shots to get. Also, maybe what questions to ask when, you know, there's nobody else with you to ask the questions. So you got to at least ask, you know, have two good, intelligent questions to ask that could help, you know, hopefully be used for a soundbite. So, and responsibility in news, it's not just somebody who just runs around with the camera, they shoot stuff, they drop the tape off to somebody, job well done. Nope. You have to be able to ask intelligent questions, like how I said with the interviews. Sorry, making a little thing popped up on my computer. I'm trying to be able to see. So with the interviews, that photog needs to be able to understand what's going on well enough to ask whoever they're, you know, need to speak with intelligent questions. Also, developing contacts. So you did an interview, maybe get that person's business card, or know, hey, if you're not available, who else can I reach if if you can't get in contact with the chief, who's the public information officer, So also relaying the story. This was big for me when I was a producer, and he was like, yeah, we know you're a producer. All right, this was big for me because a lot of times as a producer, I'm at the TV station, so I'm writing stories and sculpting the newscast. But I depended on photogs who could, they went out and shot something. Okay, what was the meeting about? What was some of the stuff that they said? How did the people seem? So as a news photog, you got to be able to understand that stuff and tell other people that, because, the photog in that instance, they're not writing the story. I'm writing the story, and I have to kind of get a better sense, and it helps me have a better jumping off point as far as writing a story. Also, repurposing video. Now, what does that mean? That means video footage that's shot for one station could be used. It could get picked up by the national affiliate, or it could get picked up by some other bigger news organization, or it could just be shared with a sister station in some other part of the state or some other part of the region. So that happens quite a bit, like the Razorback footage. Okay, there's sports on Channel 4, Channel 7, Channel 11 in Little Rock every night. Okay, there's some type of Razorback news update, right? Guess what? They're not driving up to Fayetteville every day to get that practice footage. No, their sister stations in Fayetteville are getting that footage, and they're sending it to the Little Rock station. So guess what? That that Fayetteville station is responsible. They're responsible. They owe an obligation to the other, CBS stations in the state to have that footage and to, basically have it available for them for their sportscasters, Razorback update. So, and that's just like with the Razorbacks. If some big thing happened, I don't know, super big explosion or something, or presidential candidate comes to Pine Bluff, well, then that Little Rock station, maybe they'll have it, but also the stations in Fayetteville, stations in Jonesboro, trying to think where else. Anyway, they're gonna want that footage. Like, hey, you got something for me, right? So it is kind of like some other pressure to, okay, you not only have to have it for yourself, but you have to have it for these other people as well. So one of the advantages of having sister stations in other parts of the state, or the nation. All right. So budget. So with EFP, yeah, money is a big issue. Usually things don't get rolling until there's an agreed upon price. So yeah, so for some agreed upon terms, okay? In news, you have whatever your contract is, so, or whatever you get paid hourly. So photogs aren't, for news stations, they aren't just, okay, you work for this place for 5 years or so, and every day you walk in and say, okay, oh, well, there's this story happening. How much, I want this much to go shoot footage of this story. No, that doesn't happen in news. But say with EFP, if you're going to do a commercial, guess what? You're going to let your client know what you're charging before you record anything. Okay. So yeah, that's just me talking. But yeah, with EFP concerns, there's always how much is all this going to cost. So and if I don't know, say you're paying, okay, sometimes they agree, okay, we'll pay you, whatever X amount per day for this. But if they stop paying, guess what? The worker's going to stop working. I got paid yesterday, you can't pay me today, I won't be working today. So also with the budget, certain things that you may need. You may need a certain number of people, maybe certain production features. So you may want some type of special camera in some particular location. Well, that's going to cost extra. And if you don't have the money for that, then that won't be a part of the commercial. Maybe you want a particular person, a particular voiceover actor. Well, guess what? If you don't have, the money for that, then that's that's not going to happen. If you want some type of animated dancing car fox, well, if you don't have the money for that, you got to go with something else. Let's see. Supplies, maybe you need a low camera that does better with low light, or a lens that does better with low light. All right, so anyway, with the planning, everything is planned in advance. So when you're going to shoot, how many people you're going to need, what equipment you're going to be using, also approximately how long it's going to take, what you're going to be doing, all of that, or at least most of it, is already decided ahead of time. So it's very planned. So that's why you may have some news footage that looks pretty ho-hum, just because people got there, they may have had an hour's notice that, hey, you're going to go here and go shoot this, and it'll be what it'll be. So but with EFP, no, it's been planned out for a while. You've already been to the location where you're going to shoot around the time of day that you're going to be shooting, just so you can scout everything and know where the best whatever is, so that you can have your stuff looking the best. All right. With EFP, with the script is the blueprint. It tells people where to go, where to stop, where to turn, what they're going to say, and how they're going to say it. So, everything is in there. Whatever's in the script, it shows up somehow in the production. So it's a very important thing to have. There's not any winging it, or there's no ad-libbing when it comes to that. You may get some extra shots. You may get more than one take, but you're not just going to deviate into, you're not going to deviate that far, or not at all. Also, storyboards, another way of locking in, okay, this is what we want this to look like. So these are little pictures of, what you expect to see, and maybe whether it's a medium shot, close-up shot of whatever. So it's just a more, another way of visualizing and showing what is expected from the project, or how it will look. With the client for EFP, now, big difference between ENG and EFP, okay? With the client, the person who's paying for it, they have the final word on all aspects of a production. So if, I don't know, say, you've got some famous A-list actor in a movie. I mean, not in a movie, in a commercial. I'll say Will Smith, okay? But in the editing, you want to have over Will Smith's face one of those, I forgot what they're called, cell phone stickers or whatever. It gives them cat ears, or rainbow vomit, or puppy dog face, or whatever. Okay, so you got Will Smith, guys, makes $20 million a movie, and we're gonna cover up his face, so maybe he's not even recognizable. Why would you pay that much money and then not get the full, whatever you can get advantages of that? So if whatever they want, if they want to have, I don't know, something that may seem ridiculous to you, but hey, they're paying for this, this is a commercial, then, and you can tell them, hey, it's not going to work out so well, but they're like, all right, but this is what I want. Well, then go ahead, Sometimes you'll see like local commercials, and, it's like the furniture stores, their daughter, wife, best friend, whatever. Car dealerships, same thing. It's like, okay, yeah, you wondering how all those kids get into these, commercials? Well, guess what? The person's paying for the commercial. Yeah, put my son in there, put my daughter in there, whatever. With the client, your job, whatever, is to convey, what they want said, their message. Now, in electronic news gathering, ENG, clients, they can buy advertising, okay? So what clients do in electronic news gathering is that they buy advertising time, during, they buy ads during the commercial time, okay? So in between the segments of the newscast, that's when the clients, have, that's their area, that's their realm, okay? With EFP, the client is the one that's basically paying for the commercial to be made, or for the I don't know, wedding to be shot, or for the award ceremony to be shot and broadcast. Okay, they're not dealing with the commercials unless they they want a commercial shot. Hope I'm not confusing you. So, but with ENG, your clients, basically what they do is they buy advertising time. So I think in some places they may have the certain segments of a newscast, like now let's go to the Simmons Bank weather cam, and then you see I don't know, footage of Interstate 40 or something. I don't know, but they don't have a say in ENG. Your clients have zero say in what the news coverage is or what it should be. Okay, that's not their place. That's not their job. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes things get muddy. So I remember one time when I was working in Columbia, South Carolina, and we did a story. I forgot about hybrid cars. Okay. And one of our advertisers, has a car dealership. They have hybrid cars, but in the news story, the reporter went to a competitor and talked about their hybrid cars, and it was a deal. And then a couple of days later, came out with a list like, if you talk about this, or this, check with us because we may have clients that. That it might have something to do with them. Is that right? No. But clients shouldn't be saying, okay, you gotta cover me if you talk about this particular thing, or hey, you can't make my business look bad because of whatever. No, they don't have that right. What happens in that 90-second commercial break, that's their realm. If they want to buy a 30-second commercial, if they want to buy a minute-long commercial, that's their area. Okay. Yeah, let's see, I think I'm just about done. Yep. Let's see, I know that there's a delay, so if you have any questions or anything, just go ahead and type it or maybe message me. But yeah, so I won't wrap it up just yet. But something that I said earlier during this stream, and then I'll repeat it real quick, is that that's not my. Where's my? Oh, okay. So for the videos, you can also go to. Let's see, channel. So you can also go to the playlist, and you can see the videos there. So if you don't check on Blackboard, you can go to the R. Trammell, my that YouTube channel, click on playlists, and I have a playlist set up for the EFP class, so you can just click on there, and I'll be didn't mean to play it. But anyway, you'll have the list of videos there. So if you want to do that, then do that. And once again, if you see any of your classmates or have any interaction with them and they're not in the group, tell them get in the group because they're missing out on some stuff. So anyway, I think that'll be it. That is the end of this chapter. So. I'll probably put out a study. Hold on, let me get this out the way. So I'll probably put out issue out a study guide into the content section probably within the next 48 hours. So I'd expect, say, an online test for this to be about maybe, what's today, Monday, maybe Wednesday of next week. Probably have the test over Chapter 1. So yeah, Chapter 1 is by far one of the shortest chapters, so I don't know if you're surprised or not, but yeah. Let's see, is there anything else that, as far as like actual shoots, sorry, I'm trying to check to see if there's anybody writing me anything. As far as actual shoots, I'd say we won't have our first shoot until we get into our next chapter, which will be Chapter 3 from the textbook. So we'll get, so we still got some time before I'm assigning projects to you. So yeah, that's it. And yeah, glad you watched.